Hello, World Pension Summit. My name is Remco Fischer, and I am the climate change lead at the UNEP Finance Initiative. Did you know that from the perspective of the United Nations, you are a powerful lot? That you hold in your hands, or I should say in your portfolios, one of the keys to ensuring the stability of our climate system, one of the keys to effectively helping fight and mitigate global heating by helping to effectively decarbonize the global economy. You are powerful because when you speak to the companies that you hold on your portfolios, they listen to you. When you speak to governments and regulators and policymakers about industrial policy, about economic growth and economic resilience, they too listen to you because they see in you the gravitas and the credibility that as universal owners on these matters, of course, you have. You are a powerful lot, but you're also vulnerable. You're vulnerable to the systemic shocks that you cannot diversify away from. You cannot diversify away from the environmental, economic, and societal disruptions that runaway climate change will impose on the global economy, because they will be systemic. If we don't mitigate climate change, business as usual will bring us to 4 degrees of warming in the second half of this century. And for perspective, during the last ice age, the difference was 6 degrees, only of course the other way around. It is that combination of power and vulnerability that makes of pension funds and other institutional asset owners the key allies in the fight against climate change. That makes them want to be part of the solution. And that a year ago gave birth to the UN-convened Net Zero Asset Owner Alliance. And here's a video that describes the alliance better than I ever could.
In order to reach our vision and objectives, we are developing a target-setting framework. It outlines in a transparent way our approach and principles for how we will contribute to the decarbonization of our economy.
Scientific data help us better understand the complexity of climate change and its potential impacts on our long-term investments. Also, scientific data is essential to have an accurate vision of what we could be facing and adapt our portfolios accordingly.
The long-term vision set out by our net zero targets is helping to stimulate and inform short-term action today.
The Asset Owner Alliance members start out with changing themselves first and then reach out to various companies to work on the change of their businesses.
We want to engage with industry leaders to learn how best to transition. We are a strong believer that we are smarter together so that we can successfully achieve our net zero target by 2050.
We are a very powerful collective, not only as investors, but also to show leadership.
As many asset owners join us, the impact multiplies exponentially. And I believe in the power that we have to drive change.
Partnerships like the Asset Owner Alliance give me hope. It sets an example of leadership, and it shows the way for business, government, and society to work together to create a more sustainable world.
everyone attending the conference virtually, and thank you to Pension and Investments for the opportunity to introduce the First Look Fund to this group. I'm Robert Ethier, Head of Investments at Activate Global, a nonprofit that empowers scientists to improve our world by bringing their research to market. I'm also the founding partner of the First Look Fund, a new funding mechanism built to scale science-based innovations from the earliest stages. The technologies of today can't solve today's global challenges, and they certainly won't solve the challenges of tomorrow either. To obtain those solutions and secure our future, we need to fund a new era of commercially minded scientists focused on impact in the sectors of energy, materials, manufacturing, electronics, and life sciences. Simply put, we need to empower scientists on a mission to change the world. The First Look Fund is a new investment model built to do just that by leveraging an emerging model for science innovation pioneered by Activate, the Entrepreneurial Research Fellowship, whereby scientists leverage university and national lab research facilities to accelerate technology de-risking and launch new companies. The First Look Fund, managed by a subsidiary of Activate, was created to capitalize on science-based innovations produced by the world's top scientists across critical impact sectors through this model. Activate offers these 2-year fellowships funded by a mix of government, philanthropic, and corporate sponsors. These 2 years of runway allow scientists the time and capital to de-risk their innovation while identifying and vetting commercial applications, first customers, and potential acquirers. A key component of our fellowship is access to world-class research facilities. Through our partnerships, Activate Fellows collaborate with university and national lab facilities with billion-dollar annual budgets to de-risk their technologies, and their companies are financed with non-dilutive dollars, enabling them to leverage those facilities to their fullest extent. Further, Fellows receive intensive mentoring from the Activate team to guide them in building their company. But how does this play into a fund? First, deal flow advantage. Activate has cultivated a pipeline of top scientists from around the globe who are attracted by the unrivaled facilities and support Activate can offer. Over the past 6 years, Activate has supported 84 fellows, selected from nearly 1,200 applicants from around the world, including graduates from the top universities in the US, Europe, and Asia. And we're scaling. By 2024, we plan to be supporting over 100 fellows every year, creating the world's strongest talent pool for science innovation. The fellowship model also creates an extreme information advantage. Through this applicant pipeline and during the fellowship itself, First Look Fund managers will have unrivaled access to next-generation technologies, gaining insight into what the smartest people are working on and what has been tried and failed. Through the support of corporate sponsors, the First Look Fund also gains insight into what industry is looking for from new technologies. This bird's-eye view of the technology pipeline and industry needs enables First Look Fund managers to confidently capitalize technologies with the best industry fit and highest probability of technological success. Additionally, over the 2 years of the fellowship program, First Look Fund managers are able to assess the founding teams for talent, traction, execution ability, and impact potential, all on minimal capital commitments. By the end of the fellowship, the First Look Fund will have an extreme information advantage to help guide alignment and allocation of capital. In essence, the fellowship acts as a multi-year focused due diligence process for the First Look Fund. Lastly, the fellowship also enables a capital advantage. Technology development takes time and requires lab space, lab equipment, testing materials, PhD-level researchers, and consultants. Our data shows that going from lab to prototype will require in the range of at least 2 years and $5 million. Utilizing the ecosystem Activate has brought together, the First Look Fund capitalizes on the non-dilutive financing and leverage from the national lab resources to decrease early-stage equity financing needs, enabling the First Look Fund to reserve a larger portion of the fund for higher accuracy follow-on investments. While the typical venture fund applies a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio of follow-on reserves to seed investment, the First Look Fund will employ a 9-to-1 ratio. To show the power of this model, we backtested our investment strategy with the companies founded by our fellows to date. Using the actual terms from the rounds they closed, and assuming we started the fund the same year we started the fellowship, we'd currently be sitting on a gross return of over 20%. In closing, by building a fund that capitalizes on the Entrepreneurial Research Fellowship model, the First Look Fund becomes a unique portfolio solution that leverages a U.S. research system as it has never been done before. In doing so, the First Look Fund immediately becomes the most active investor in the science innovation space while enhancing societal impact. By utilizing these resources and networks, the First Look Fund will have the information, capital, and deal flow advantages to supply best-in-class returns to its limited partners. To learn more, please reach out to me at robert@activate.org. Thank you all for your time.
where were you when the threats to the planet and to the world were so high? What did you do about it? Are you prepared to answer these questions? My name is Alexander Kalis, and I'm the managing partner at Miltrust International. A few years ago, I spearheaded the firm's sustainable impact business, which today has become the core focus of our business. Under a single mantra of sustainable prosperity, Miltrust International is a global asset manager that offers a range of life-changing investments that seeks to combine strong investor returns while also addressing some of the biggest themes of our generation. Our primary investment themes include the pioneering of developments in healthcare and medical technology, the significant advances made in science and innovation that improve the quality of our lives, also sustainable agriculture, whereby we provide food and fiber to a growing population, and finally climate change and the protection of the environment, biodiversity, and its ecosystems. Our investors primarily consist of international and UK local authority pension funds, as well as a range of other institutions that have entrusted Miltrust with these important missions. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to have been selected by Pensions and Investments as a finalist for the Brightest Idea Award 2020 for our Climate Impact Asia Fund, which we launched in collaboration with Environmental Investment Services Asia Limited and WWF in Hong Kong. I would now like to share a short information video on our unique partnership and the amazing achievements made by the fund in tackling climate change and protecting our precious planet.
I want to welcome you to our information video on the Climate Impact Asia Fund, our new and pioneering fund that seeks to generate strong investment returns while also making a positive impact for the planet. The Climate Impact Asia Fund is a collaboration between Miltrust International, Environmental Investment Services Asia Limited, and WWF Hong Kong, one of the world's leading NGOs and environmental specialists. Did you know that the Asia-Pacific region accounts for 49.4% of the world's carbon emissions? To address the world's climate emergency, we must help the best companies on the ground that are delivering real solutions to the problem. But there's also a huge growth opportunity for investments, and Asian governments are already pouring billions of dollars into the greening of their economies. China is now the world's largest investor in clean energy, accounting for over 23% of the world's entire renewable energy investments. China is now also the largest producer of renewable energy globally, accounting for over 25% of the world's wind energy generation. In solar, China is the world's largest producer and consumer of solar panels and is home to 2/3 of the world's solar production capacity. By 2040, 1 in every 4 gigawatts of global renewable energy will be generated by China. China also dominates the market for EVs, with roughly 1 million electric vehicles sold in 2018 alone. That's more than the rest of the world combined, and it's only the beginning.
The Climate Impact Asia Fund aligns to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Today, our portfolio companies are already helping to avoid over 350 million metric tons of carbon dioxide. That's the equivalent of taking 86.4 million cars off the roads. And our water companies distribute and treat on average over 6 billion metric tons of fresh water to over 42 million households every year.
But as exciting as all of this is, it's just the tip of the iceberg of what the Climate Impact Asia Fund does. The Climate Impact Asia Fund is the only fund in the world to donate a significant portion of its fees to support WWF Hong Kong's conservation programs in Asia. So if you care about banning the ivory trade, or protecting orangutan from habitat loss, or stopping unregulated wildlife markets, which are all prime sources for future disease outbreaks, you're going to love knowing that your investments are contributing to making a difference.
The Climate Impact Asia Fund offers the unique prospect of great returns while also making a genuine impact against climate change and in the protection of our precious planet. So if you're ready to help build back better, and you're ready to join us in the fight against climate change and to make your investments matter, please contact us today on impact@miltrust.com.
Your vote of confidence means a tremendous amount to us and to the success of the Climate Impact Asia Fund and this important project. Thank you, and stay safe.
Good day. Bonjour. Guten Tag, Grüß Gott. My name is Mike Clark and my firm is Ario Advisory. Today, I'm pitching you an idea, a phrase, a name for a part of the asset owner's investment process that I think we need. Investors see risk through modern portfolio theory. Citizens, savers, see risk through the lens of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. But these two views rarely overlap, and we need to bring a common view of risk together. So, strategic asset allocation is the primary investment decision that asset owners make. But SAA, strategic asset allocation, struggles to incorporate real-world risks like climate change. Strategic risk management, which should precede or be interwoven with SAA, helps asset owners tackle these strategic risks. When asset owners tilt away from climate risk, from carbon risk, they are practicing strategic risk management. When asset owners engage with companies in their portfolios, vote their proxies, they're engaging in strategic risk management. When asset owners engage with policymakers or regulators, making the point that some risks really need to be managed by the state and by the regulator, the asset owners are performing strategic risk management. So 3 pieces to strategic risk management, 2 within the realm of the asset owner, and 1 engaging with the outside world. Strategic risk management breaks down the silos we've long lived with of alpha and beta. Strategic risk management is neither alpha nor beta, but also both. Strategic risk management links the risks that citizens care about with the investment world. And so with humility, I would like us to add strategic risk management to the vocabulary, the lexicon of investors at the top of the asset owner decision tree. I hope this phrase resonates with you, and I hope tomorrow morning you might wake up and think, strategic risk management, that makes sense. Now, I know there are 4 other good competitors in this competition, so it may be that we don't win. But even so, I hope tomorrow you wake up with that thought. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Girish Narula and I am the CEO of Argentum. Before I introduce Element 6 to you, I would like to have a word about Argentum. We are one of those companies which you may not have heard of, but you will definitely have heard of our clients. We are climate transition risk specialists. Our innovative products and advisory services are backed by science-based data and metrics that we have been collecting for the past 10 years. We work primarily with financial services industry, from asset managers to central banks and to, of course, pension funds and asset owners. We're talking with a trustee of a large corporate pension fund. We're talking about climate change, its implications, and the challenges it posed. As I was going about telling him how it could be the biggest thing that could affect the world and so on, he said, Girish, let me stop you there. I read the FT. I'm aware of all the challenges and the risk is posed. What I want you to tell me is how you can help me identify and manage those risks and identify opportunities based on data and science and metrics that I can trust. How can you help me with the regulation that I'm supposed to deal with, which is coming down the line? And what can you do for me now? And that's where the genesis of Element 6 comes from. As you will see, Element 6 has been designed with you in mind. On behalf of Argentum and the entire team, I would like to say a big thank you to the P&I community for allowing us the opportunity to present Element 6, to the jury for their time and attention, and to everyone else who has tuned in today. Thank you.